Hey guys, hope you are all having a great day. Today we had a greener day, with stocks bouncing back strong. Today I want to talk about something that is happening regarding AMC that many are beginning to notice. Media shills have been painting some recent changes are bad when in fact, they are set to have the most bullish outcomes possible. Oil prices started falling again and futures were green again. We have some stuff to go over, but before we start, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's dive right in. Let's begin with the biggest news today. Biden signed an executive order tasking the Federal Reserve to explore whether the central bank should begin creating a digital dollar. The administration is set to view the popularity of cryptocurrency as an opportunity to examine the risks and benefits of digital assets, and now with this executive order signed, Biden is directing the Treasury Department among other federal agencies to study the impact that cryptocurrencies have on the stability of the economy and national security. CEO of Sanctor Capital said that exploring how blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies can be leveraged throughout financial infrastructure will reduce the overhead on the system as a whole and make transactions, remittances and cross-border payments much more efficient. This is the first comprehensive federal digital asset strategy for the United States. One of the reasons this was pushed is also because there are serious concerns that Russia may be using cryptocurrency to avoid the impact of sanctions imposed on its banks, its oligarchs and their oil industry. Officials say this administration's move has been in the works for months, way before Putin decided to invade Ukraine though. It still remains unclear how this will inhibit the ability for Russia to evade the sanctions imposed. Surveys show 16% of adult Americans have invested in cryptocurrencies. China has already adopted a digital currency, so the United States is moving to try to quickly catch up and not let China become a bigger force than it is to contend with. Should the government stay clear away from crypto or should they come cracking in? It seems the majority of people don't like the idea of regulation imposed by the government, but there is also a very vocal portion saying we need a legal framework by which the government has the responsibility to protect consumers. We have seen a rise of companies in crypto branch out and start providing customers products like credit cards and loans among other services, some of which have very serious financial impacts on their credit score. As a result, I do believe that some regulation could indeed prove very useful for customers, but I don't think the United States should in any way overimpose themselves setting regulations. Do let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. I am curious as to how my audience feels about this issue. It seems like there is quite a bit of talk outside the AMC community regarding the rise in price for tickets. Articles have been coming out condemning AMC and other theaters like Regal Cinemas and Cinemark. The main basis for their argument is not fundamental, but rather emotionally overreactive. The media is angry that AMC dared to raise tickets for movies because these journalists believe that it is a betrayal of sorts to the common good of the people who saved theaters. They try to get you to think you were wronged in a deal with the latest blockbuster hit, The Batman, where tickets were $1.50 extra. They say there is no reason why these theaters should be charging these amounts and that it sets a bad precedent going forward to what theaters could do. The question many in corporate media and blog posters have in mind is whether we are set to continue seeing theaters increase the price of cost for tickets as we slowly move past the pandemic. The answer is yes, of course it is. Frame it this way: are prices for products and services expected to rise over time or are they expected to remain stagnant and the same over time? Of course tickets will get more expensive, the cost of doing business is always increasing. AMC timed this price increase perfectly. They actually did it too for Spider-Man No Way Home too. By my own limited view on how customers reacted to it, it seems nobody really batted an eye towards this price increase, which could more than indicate to AMC that they should be thinking about hiking up prices in small amounts. Though we do not have any data from AMC breaking down the ticket sales versus attendance levels, the box office numbers for The Batman have far outpaced the analyst expectations. The same is also true for the last Spider-Man movie, which means that at least when it comes to big blockbuster movies, consumers are willing to pay for the price increases. Now let's talk about what awaits AMC as a business. They have Morbius, Doctor Strange, Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, Avatar, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Fantastic Beasts, Thor, Black Adam, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Flash, Black Panther sequel, Aquaman sequel and many other movies. Theaters have so many big blockbuster movies coming out this year, which makes these price increases a serious opportunity to help AMC and other theater chains enhance and bolster up their revenue streams. This is the perfect time for companies like AMC to experiment with how to price tickets so that they can get the highest return possible. These journalists crying wolf about how theaters are becoming smart and competitive is so weird, considering these companies are acting just like any other company does. And that brings me back to the main fundamentals of AMC as a whole. Their fundamentals are in the best position they have been for years, and I would even argue even better than before the pandemic. The reason is that AMC is super popular among investors, which has reflected greatly on how many customers they also get. AMC's Adam Aron has been very open to dialogue and always searching for the next big thing that can generate them money and help alleviate the large debt they have. AMC's loyalty programs have been noted to be increasing, which means the company gets a good revenue income that it has managed to keep growing. On top of this, they are now set to sell popcorn outside theaters. But even better than their popcorn venture, AMC is in the realm of NFTs. They are generating profits every time people sell those in the markets, which means that for a tiny cost, AMC can continue to profit and fill its pockets for an infinite amount of time. Some of the Spider-Man No Way Home NFTs were selling for thousands of dollars, which means AMC got a nice chunk of that. Looking back at their last earnings report, the EBITDA and operating cash flow was positive, having a liquidity of around $1.8 billion. With around 60 million customers who attended their theaters on the fourth quarter, AMC no longer has to be extremely careful, they can actually start playing offensively to maximize return on investment. AMC's future will be dictated by the quantity of blockbuster movies along with returning customers. With investors coming in every day, a packed year full of movies and growth in revenue, there is no way any journalist or corporate media shill can fud their way into trying to rationalize that AMC is going out of business or that it is a bad investment. Let's talk about the markets. Stocks rose after some serious losses at the start of this week. Concerns over the impact that sanctions on Russia would have as well as the unpredictability of the situation in Ukraine had investors anxious, but today we saw them slowly begin to buy back. The S&P 500 closed 2.6% higher, the Dow Jones gained 2% and Nasdaq closed 3.6% higher too. Crude oil prices began backing down after Ukraine said it is trying to pursue a diplomatic solution with Russia. However, even with a hypothetical ceasefire, things are not bound to blow up out of nowhere. There are serious analysts who believe that sanctions imposed against Russia will still remain for some time as the world is trying to condemn and punish them for what they have done. The supply chain problems are set to stick around for months as well. As you can see, because the ongoing worldwide push to isolate Russia from the global economy is so strong and continues to mount, uncertainty still rules the minds of even the most bullish of investors, and as such everyone should be bracing themselves for market volatility for weeks and possible months to come. The good news on this is that GameStop and AMC owners will continue getting shares for cheap, strengthening the squeeze and making it more costly for hedge funds to continue shorting us. Let's now talk about today. The Fed submitted over $1.542 trillion in reverse repo operations today. Dark pool trades for AMC accounted for 52% of the total volume today, while dark pool trades for GameStop accounted for 44% of the total volume today. AMC had a larger amount of buy orders than sell orders, with GameStop also having a larger amount of buy orders than sell orders. Now, let's talk about performance. AMC had a bullish day, gaining over 2%. It began trading very bullishly during the pre-market, rising above the VWAP and trading above 15.70 for the most part. Upon market opening, AMC became very volatile, but managed to break important resistance walls, continuing to move up all the way to 16.27 at its highest point. After that run-up, AMC began retracing, eventually closing at 15.71, below the VWAP. In the after-hours, it somehow dipped to 15.26 at one point. AMC will find support at 15.25, 14.80 and 14.38. Resistance will be met at 16.26, 16.50 and 17. GameStop had a bullish day, gaining over 2% for the day. It opened to high volatility that had it break below 104. After that dip, GME began inching up, attempting to break the VWAP only to fail on its first attempt. After a small retracement back to 104, it tested the VWAP resistance and managed to break past it, running all the way to 108.86. After that run, GME began dropping again all the way until it closed at 105.21, below the VWAP. GameStop will find support at 102.40, 99.80 and 97. Resistance will be met at 109, 110 and 112. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. That is all I have for you guys today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And most importantly, remember to come join my Discord. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon link in the description as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep on buying the dip and to the moon.